With the Assassin's Creed collaboration ongoing now is still the perfect time to get started in Raid Shadow Legends, and they're also going to make Bayek acquirable right now in a big way. Also, Edward will be getting a boosted summon drop as well, or summon rate. So we're going to talk about both of those things, the good, the bad, the ugly, and why people are pretty upset about this, if I'm being honest, and maybe what Plarium can do to make some people feel better about this, but I'm not sure that they will. If you haven't been keeping up with it overall, Bayek is tremendously good. I think he's easily, and I don't think it's close, he's easily the best champion from this collaboration, and that includes, you know, the original character they've got, Augustin and all that stuff. But I will say that it's unfortunate. The biggest miss with them is that they didn't find a way to make the Assassin's Creed collaboration characters, or maybe they intended this, but anyway, these characters do not synergize. They're just kind of there, like, there's a little bit of that with certain ones where it's like you need Veil, he can give you Veil, etc. But otherwise, they're pretty standalone, which is a good thing and a bad thing, right? But I guess maybe people wanted something more akin to what we got with the Turtles, who came out like a month prior, right? We had the 4 Ninja Turtles, we had Shredder, we had April. Shredder and April kind of did their own thing. They were insignificant. They're not all that great, but they're niche, is what I should say. But the Turtles are really good, right? Some of them are better than others, but they have synergy. They have great synergy. Now, they don't have insane synergy without without Leonardo. Like, he's the main linchpin. But no, I shouldn't say that. They've still always got those ally attacks and stuff. So anyway, that's not really a thing with this. And maybe it's because they're all from different games or whatever it is. I'm not really sure. But Bayek is by far the best one, and I think he's an easy champion you can plug into any team. Places a leech debuff for 2 turns on an enemy, fills his champion's turn meter. Places a 50% decrease accuracy debuff and a 50% decrease resistance debuff for 2 turns. Also a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. And if a target is under 3 or more debuffs, places a provoke for 2 turns instead. This is a pure AoE hit. All enemies will take those debuffs if they're not resisted. He also places a increased accuracy buff on all allies. Also places a perfect veil buff and increased defense buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. I was getting him mixed up. Maybe Edward does something similar, but he is actually the one that you really need for the first couple of Assassin's Creed characters to maintain that veil. Places the increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns and then gets an extra turn as well. This has 2 cooldown reductions in there. It doesn't seem very book heavy. Maybe these other skills. No, he's not. He's also not very book heavy. 3, 6, 7, 8 books. Okay. He's got 2 passives. This champion and their allies cannot receive critical hits from enemies whose accuracy is equal to or lower than their own accuracy. And this is humongous. This is arguably the best thing in his entire kit. Shielding your team from crits is insane. So overall, though, nice debuffer designed to have a lot of accuracy, and he will shield your team from it. So he's a champion that, again, I think most people, if you've got to pick one of them, should go for it. Now, Edward is also really good, but he's nowhere near as good. I believe he has a Sacred Order. I'll find him here really quick. I'm not sure exactly where they... Not sure. I'll find him. I'll find you, Edward. Where are you at? Augustin's right there. I have no idea. I don't know where the hell they threw. He's not silver. Where are you at? Where are you at? Check. Noel. Okay, I'm gonna find him right now. Hold on. Ah, yes, I should have checked Banner Lords. Duh. Okay, so here's Edward. I just ported it over to the computer, but Edward is also extremely good. But as you can see, he's not amazing in most places, but he's a really good champion to have. Whereas he's a 4-star overall rank on Hell Hades. Just for context, Bayek is a 5, which is the ceiling. So let's talk about the acquirable events. So firstly, we'll talk about Edward here. This Friday, February 27th, we're planning to launch 2 events simultaneously. We're planning to launch a 2x event to summon legendary champions from Sacred Shards. So 2x drop rate. All right, that's great. But these are kind of always there once a month, once every 5 weeks or so. And also, we're planning to launch a 10x event to summon Edward Kenway from Sacred Shards. So when you combine both of those things, Edward's probably sitting at like a 5% rate, 6% rate overall from the pull chance, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, obviously. If you get a sacred, let me explain it this way. I believe how it is that if you get a sacred or a legendary from a sacred, that legendary has that small chance of being Edward, not him collectively overall, right? I believe that's how it works. So anyway, regardless, this is still one of the better chances. It's just unfortunate this is a 10x instead of 15 or progressive or anything. Like, it's not, we have much higher than this. I'm not sure why it's just purely 10. It'll be 1 day shorter for the 10x than the duration of the 2x event. So quick note on this. This almost feels like they're trying to drain us for, there's something probably coming up. And this is purely Sacred Shards as well. There's probably something coming up. March is probably going to be a big month. I believe it's also anniversary for Raid. But there's probably something coming. This is not uncommon. They oftentimes try to suck us dry. Hey, yo. And I think that's probably what this is mostly designed to do. Because quick note, we haven't seen a quote-unquote guaranteed unlock event for Edward. We don't know what that is, right? We just had one for Basim. And you may or may not have participated. He's arguably the worst one. Cassandra started with her. She, I guess, maybe could be arguable as well. She started with the fusion at the very start of the collaboration. We just got done with one for Basim. So there will, again, be one for Edward. But right now, it seems like we're getting one for Bayek. And I'll talk about him next. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably what this is. But let's talk about this. A Champion Chase tournament for Bayek is starting on February 27th. So this Friday, February 27th, we're planning to launch a Champion Chase tournament where you'll be able to get a limited champion Bayek and other valuable goodies. If you manage to take first place on the leaderboard in your group of 100 players during the tournament, you will earn Bayek. For the players of all levels, the minimum points required for this event is 5,000. Note, if you take first place but you have not earned the minimum points, you will not receive the champion. So if you've not participated in one of these before, you know how they always have, and I'll show you here, I'm going to get back over there. You know how they've always got the events ongoing and stuff like that, and you may or may not have the ability to win towards the top of those leaderboards for the tournaments. That's fine. Most of the time, it doesn't really matter. But for this one, it will actually matter because they're going to be running one where he is unlocked if you get first place in a tournament. Yes. So for this specific one that's going to pop in here in a couple of minutes here, when it loads eventually, but I think it pops up tomorrow. If you get first place, you will get him. And it's a Champion Chase event, so that means summons, basically. There's a couple ways, but it pretty much means summon. So, yeah. And there's other rewards along the way, but he's not, you know how they've got the point milestones on the side for how many points you get? That's not what he is. He's a finishing reward for your tournament group of 100 players on the left side here. He's one of these. So if you get thrown into a bad group with whales, because it's a whale event, you are screwed. If you're not a whale or if you don't have huge reserves, you are screwed. I was fortunate to get Shredder from one of these because Shredder also had one of these where he was unlocked purely from there. And I don't believe they ran anything else for him. But Shredder had one of these where he was unlocked there. I think he also had one for his soul, too. Anyway, I was able to get first place, and I was pretty excited about that. But the difference here is this is more equivalent to if they had done that with Leonardo. Because nobody would be mad as much if this was Pontiff Augustine instead. Because that's what's happening. They swapped out the primary collaboration champion with the dungeon boss in this case. Like the dungeon boss champion, Augustine, should be like Shredder, should be the one that's the board. Instead of the most hyped champion in the collaboration, Bayek, aka Leonardo from last time, being elsewhere. And for the record, Leonardo's event was super expensive too anyway in terms of resources. But that's kind of just what this looks like. So most people are upset about this for obvious reason, because only one person from this 100-player pool that you get thrown into can actually acquire him. So what does that mean for everybody else? That's the real thing. What does that mean for everyone else? Well, you know how they're running that 2x and 10x for Edward? They're probably going to run some of those for Bayek. I believe they've probably already ran one or two for him anyway. It's hard to keep track of. But they'll run that stuff for Bayek. But is this the only way we're going to acquire Bayek for the duration of the collaboration? I just explained how he's the main one people want. He's portable. He can be used anywhere, basically. He's really good and for a lot of different reasons. So what are we doing, right? And then again, like I said, despite how this is kind of scummy relative to the turtle event, is this not all just bait? What do they have coming, right? What do they have coming? And Augustine is good too, I wouldn't have minded if this was him though instead. I think Bayek is the best character. But yeah, so and then lastly, like I said, we haven't seen an event like this for Edward. So that's more or less where these champions are here. They're coming. Technically, one player. And you know what it is also, if you're a new player, you may get thrown into, it's hard to combat that if you're brand new without spending money. If you're a new player that's a spender, I should say, you're going to get thrown into and most likely a really easy pool, but it's still going to cost you money because you're not going to have the resources to match. But if you're a veteran, it's hard. So how do you compete with that? Probably just don't. You're going to see a lot of people just drop out instantly in favor of saving for other stuff. So since these events are tied together, does that not just mean that you're probably better off avoiding Edward's summons altogether? Possibly. Possibly. Another thing about Bayek is he's void, so he wouldn't be in Sacreds anyway. He'd be in a void shard, which is arguably, I don't want to say arguably, but it is one of the hardest shards to acquire. Aside from the mythic shard. I can't really say primal shards. So yeah, I think we're in a tough spot with this, but overall, let me know what you guys plan to do. Are you gonna unlock him for quote unquote free? Because it's possible if you've got the reserve, right? Well, same goes for Edward if you got good luck, right? But let me know your plans. Either way, though, I'm still rocking with Raid. I still think that the collaboration has been pretty cool. I still enjoy the things they've been doing in the game, and I'm really excited about the new quality of life updates they have coming. I'll talk about that in my next video, and if you guys are excited for those, make sure you do hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and get started playing the game through my promo down below in the description. I'd appreciate it.